Hello, welcome back to the second part of this video series on Python data structures. In the first part of this video, we talked about lists and we've looked at how to create an access list, how to get the elements of a list, modifying lists, appending and removing lists, and appending and removing elements from a list. We also looked at list slicing and how to iterate over a list. Yes, so in this very video, our focus will be on tuples. We want to learn what tuples are and how to work with tuples. So tuples are similar to lists, but they are immutable, which means that they are unchangeable. They are also ordered and allow duplicate elements. All right, so the syntax of tuple is just like we say they are similar to list is this. We call my tuple, my underscore tuple equal to item 1 comma item 2 comma item 3. You would see that the difference between a list and tuple is just the brackets. Okay, when you use curve brackets to create tuple, it's when you use curve brackets to wrap a list of items, that will convert the list to tuples. But when you use square brackets, you are creating a list. Okay, creating tuples and creating and accessing tuples. If you want to create a tuple, you just go ahead and create the tuple using this form. So I called this tuple coordinates. So I have coordinates 10, 2, 30. Don't forget these are ordered pair. So when you have the coordinate of 20, 10, 30, that will be different coordinates. To access the elements in a coordinate is very similar to accessing elements in a list. To access elements in a tuple is very similar to accessing elements in a list. Just go ahead and call the name of the coordinates you have defined. I call the name of the tuple you've defined. I call these two coordinates. So I'm trying to access the elements at the zeroth index or the zero index. That is coordinates 0, and I assign that to a variable called x, and I want to print the x coordinate as x. When I run this cell, it gives me x coordinate equal to be 10. Then if we want to also access the y coordinates, we do the similar thing. I can ask Python to, all right, get me the y coordinate. Let's say y equal to coordinates of y equal to coordinates of 1. That's going to be the y coordinates, and z equal to, we have z equal to the coordinates of let's say the coordinates of 2. That will give me the z coordinate. So let's print x coordinates, print x coordinate equals, so x coordinate is x, print x coordinate equals x. So let's use f string to do this. X coordinate equals x, comma, y coordinate, I just go ahead and copy this and paste to make this faster for me. So we have the y coordinate equals y and the z coordinate equals z. I'll change this to y and then change this to z and then change this to y and z. So when I run this cell, I'm expected to have x coordinate is 10, y coordinate is 20, and z coordinate is 30. All right, so that is you can see these are the ways to access the elements in tuple. All right, and to create tuple, like I said, all you need to do is just go ahead and create it within curve brackets. Okay, so tuples are created using parentheses, just this curve brackets. Elements are accessed in same way as lists. Okay, now unpacking. Now, what do we mean by unpacking tuples? To unpack tuple, so we have the coordinates x, y, z, which is equal to coordinates. Now, with this, it helps me unpack the tuple very easily. Okay, and so instead of going ahead and doing this particular process of saying x coordinate is 0, y coordinate is 1, and z, this is kind of stressful. Okay, other way to achieve that is just unpacking it. Go ahead and pick the variables that you intend to use to assign the elements of the tuple. Don't forget that the tuple called coordinates has 3 components, 10, 20, and 30. Because there are 3 components here, to unpack it, I have to pick 3 variables, any 3 variables, x, y, and z, and equate it to the coordinates. Then I can print x equals x, y equals y, and z equals z. and then you see the answer right here. So this is a shorter way of accessing the elements in a tuple by unpacking the tuple instead of doing this. Okay, this is also fine, but you can see that it was more stressful and time consuming compared to unpacking the elements in tuple. So tuple unpacking access each element of the tuple to a variable, assigns rather each element of the tuple to variables. Okay, let's look at nested tuples. Now you can have a list of tuples in tuples. Same thing is also applicable to set, I mean list. We can also have nested list. So here is nested tuple. We have the tuple with the elements 1 and another tuple 2, 3 and another tuple 4, 5. Now to see the elements in this, just go ahead and print nested tuples. Nested tuple, you have 1 with the tuple 2, 3 and the other tuple 4, 5. The tuples can contain other tuples as elements. Okay. Now tuples as keys in dictionaries. Now we can also use tuples as keys in dictionaries. Although we are yet to discuss dictionaries, we're going to discuss dictionaries shortly in this series as one of the data structure. So this is how to create dictionary with curly braces or brackets. All right. This is dict with tuple keys. So we're taking that, we're saying, hey, create a dictionary and take the tuple as your key, 1, 2, and your other key should be 3, 4 as a tuple. So now, if you want to print the dictionary with tuple keys, just go ahead and print it, and then you have this as your dictionary. Again, we are going to spend more time discussing dictionaries and what they mean and how to create them in Python. But for now, because we want to show how tuples can be used as the keys in dictionaries, that is the reason why I went ahead to to add this code even while discussing tuples. So tuples can be used as keys in dictionary because they are immutable. Okay. Now, can we concatenate and repeating tuples? Yes, we can. Let's look at how to concatenate tuples. So I have tuple 1, which contains the elements coordinates 1, 2, and tuple 2 has the coordinates 3, 4. The concatenated tuple will be tuple 1 plus tuple 2, just like you're concatenating strings, right? And then we can go ahead and print the concatenated tuple. Let's print the concatenated tuple before we run the second line of code so we see how that looks like, right? Now let's print this. It has concatenated tuple 1, 2, 3, 4. Now it concatenates this by combining the elements in both tuples 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that is one very important operation you need to know how to perform on tuples. Now let's see, how do we repeat? Just like you multiply a number by a string to repeat those the value or the string, can also do same with tuples. So once we multiply tuple 1 by 3, it repeats the elements in tuple 1 3 times. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Do you see that? So for the plus operator concatenates tuples, and the multiplication or asterisk operator repeats the tuple. So this is one very important stuff you need to know how to do with tuples. Again, just like we have for string, we can also, I mean for list rather, we can also create tuples using the two different methods I showed us in how to create lists in the previous video. I can create tuple by the way we've just created here right now. So I have the tuple of, I have a tuple, let's say, because tuple is a keyword, so it's highlighting it green. Let me call this tuple 3 equal to, I can have a tuple. So once you just create empty bracket like this, you're creating an empty tuple, right? But let me put some elements in it. I have a 1, 2, 3, and let's say I create a list of tuples, right? Or I create list equal to, so this is not highlighting green, although list is a keyword, but because I started list with capital letter, it's not seeing it as the keyword. If I started with small letter, then it will highlight it green because the keyword. So I'm starting it with capital letter. So list of 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now I've created the tuple and a list. I can actually create, let me run this cell. I can actually create tuple 4 by converting list to tuple using the keyword. So I say tuple of list. So once I say tuple of list, tuple of capital letter list, I'm having the error because I use small letter list. So you say type object is not iterable. So tuple of list, once I call tuple 4, I should see that that list had been converted to tuple. Can you see that? So it means you can convert a list to tuple by calling the keyword tuple. And I can also convert tuple3 to list by calling the keyword list. So let me just call the keyword list of tuple 3. Don't forget that tuple 3 is actually a tuple containing the elements 1 comma 2 comma 3. But when I convert it, when I call list of tuple 3, it converts this to a list. So you can see now that the keyword list had converted the tuple 3 to a list. Again, let's look at how to actually use other method of tuples. Let's go ahead. Since tuple 3, okay, since tuple 3 right here is a tuple, I can call tuple 3. Let me call tuple 3 and see the methods of a tuple. Tuple 3 dot. What are the methods? I can only do count and index. You can see count and index. I can only count the elements in the tuple, or the number of occurrences in the tuple, and we can check the index of tuples. Those are the two methods that that tuple has. All right, so that is about tuple. I believe you now understand what tuples are, how to create tuples, how to access the elements in tuples and all. All right. So that's that about tuples. We would see some further application of tuples once we go deeper into this video series. Thank you very much for watching this particular video. So far so good. We've covered lists and tuples as our data structures. All right, see you in the next video where we'll be talking about sets. Goodbye.